The smell of roasted turkey filled my parents' house, mixing with the sound of too many people crammed into too small a space. 48 relatives to be exact. I'd counted them as I walked in, already regretting my decision to come. Emily. My Aunt Susan grabbed me in a hug that smelled like expensive perfume and white wine. How are you, sweetie? Still working at that school? Before I could answer, my mother appeared, steering me toward the living room. Yes, Emily's doing fine. Go mingle, dear. Your father wants to make an announcement before dinner. I should have left right then. The living room was packed with cousins, aunts, uncles, and family friends who'd somehow become permanent fixtures at every holiday gathering. My sister Vanessa held court on the sectional sofa, her new engagement ring catching the light every time she gestured. She'd been engaged for 3 weeks and hadn't stopped talking about it. Can I have everyone's attention? My father stood in the center of the room, wine glass raised. He loved these moments, plain patriarch commanding an audience. The room quieted. I want to thank you all for being here today, he began. Family is everything, and seeing you all together reminds me how blessed we are. He paused for effect. I'm especially proud today because our Vanessa has found such an accomplished young man. Derek is a senior analyst at Preston Financial, pulling in 6 figures at just 28. Vanessa beamed. Derek looked uncomfortable but pleased. Now, I know some people peak early, my father continued, his eyes sliding to me. And some people find their level and stay there. That's okay. Not everyone can be a high achiever. My stomach tightened. Take our Emily for instance, he said, gesturing toward me with his wine glass. She works at the university. Has for 6 years now. She's basically a teacher's aide. Helps professors with their work, grades some papers, that sort of thing. 48 pairs of eyes turned to look at me with varying degrees of pity. My cousin Jennifer, a dental hygienist, smiled sympathetically. That's nice, Emily. Do you enjoy it? It's very stable, my mother added quickly. Not impressive but reliable. Emily's never been ambitious like Vanessa. She's more content with simple things. Vanessa's laugh was loud and sharp. Oh my God, Dad, don't sugarcoat it. She's basically a glorified I had those in college. They're not even real teachers. The room tittered with nervous laughter. I set down my drink carefully. Actually, I'm not a teacher's aide. I'm a... Emily, please, my father interrupted. Don't be embarrassed. There's dignity in all work. You don't need to pretend to be something you're not. I'm not pretending. I'm a professor. I have a PhD in... My father actually laughed. Out loud. The same booming laugh he used when he thought someone had told an exceptionally good joke. A professor? Emily, come on. We know what you do. You've been working there for 6 years. If you were a professor, we'd know about it. I tried to tell you, I said quietly. Multiple times. You never listened. Because you were being delusional, he said flatly. Emily, I love you, but you need to face reality. You're 31 years old. You're not going to suddenly become something you're not. Accept who you are. Vanessa leaned forward, her eyes glittering with malice. Seriously, Em, this is pathetic. Even for you. You're literally making up a fake career at my engagement celebration. How desperate can you get? I'm not making anything up, I said, my voice steady despite the heat rising in my cheeks. I'm an associate professor of molecular biology. I run my own lab. I have 6 graduate students and... Enough. My father's voice cracked like a whip. This is ridiculous. You're embarrassing yourself and you're embarrassing this family. I will not have you spinning fantasies to make yourself feel important. Uncle Richard, always the peacemaker, cleared his throat. Maybe we should just drop it and eat. No, my father said firmly. Emily needs to hear this. She's been living in a fantasy world for too long. Your mother and I have been patient, but this has gone too far. My mother nodded, her expression pained. Sweetheart, we love you. But you have to stop lying to yourself. We know how much you make. We know what you do. There's no shame in being support staff. Support staff. I repeated slowly. Well, what would you call it? Vanessa smirked. You help real professors with their work. That's literally the definition of support staff. Something inside me finally snapped. For 6 years, I'd been sending my parents $1,500 every month. I'd paid off $43,000 of their credit card debt. I'd covered Vanessa's car insurance, her rent for 2 years, and her emergency expenses that somehow always coincided with shopping sprees. I'd given them $15,000 toward their kitchen renovation and another $8,000 when Dad needed a new roof. And through all of it, they'd never once asked about my work. Never attended a single one of my lectures. Never read any of my published papers. They'd constructed a comfortable fiction about my life and refused to acknowledge anything that contradicted it. I pulled out my phone. "What are you doing?" my mother hissed. "Put that away. This is family time." I scrolled through my contacts, found the number I needed, and pressed call. "Emily, hang up that phone right now," my father ordered. The phone rang twice before a warm voice answered. "Emily. Happy Thanksgiving. Is everything all right?" "Hi, Dr. Patterson. I'm so sorry to bother you on the holiday, but I'm having a small crisis at my parents' house. Would you be able to stop by for just a few minutes? I know you live nearby." There was a pause. "What kind of crisis?" "My family doesn't believe I'm actually a professor. They think I'm a teacher's aide." I could hear the sharp intake of breath. "They what?" "I know it sounds insane, but would you mind? I'm at 847 Maple Drive. I really wouldn't ask if it wasn't important." "I'll be there in 20 minutes, Dr. Catherine Patterson, Provost of Brookfield University, said firmly. "This I have to see." I ended the call and set my phone down. The room had gone completely silent. "Who was that?" Vanessa demanded. "A colleague," I said simply. My father's face was turning red. "Emily, I don't know what stunt you're trying to pull, but it's not going to work. You can't just call some random person to back up your lies." "We'll see," I replied. The next 25 minutes were the longest of my life. My family tried to continue the celebration, but the energy had shifted. People kept glancing at me, then at the door, then at each other. Conversations kept trailing off into awkward silence. Derek, Vanessa's fiancé, looked increasingly uncomfortable. "Mr. Harrison, maybe we should just—" "We're going to eat dinner like a normal family," my father said through gritted teeth. "Emily's little tantrum doesn't get to ruin Thanksgiving." My mother brought out appetizers, her hands shaking slightly. She kept shooting me hurt looks as if I were the one causing problems. Vanessa whispered loudly to her cousin. "She's probably called one of her coworkers to pretend to be someone important. It's so sad." At exactly 25 minutes, the doorbell rang. My mother rushed to answer it, probably hoping to turn away whoever I'd called before they could embarrass the family further. Her voice floated back, confused. "I'm sorry, can I help you?" "I'm Dr. Catherine Patterson, Provost of Brookfield University. Emily Harrison called me. Is she here?" The living room erupted in whispers. My mother's voice was faint. The Provost?" "Yes." "May I come in?" Footsteps approached, and then Dr. Patterson entered the living room. At 63, she was a force of nature. Sharp gray suit, intelligent eyes behind frameless glasses, and the kind of presence that commanded immediate respect. She'd been a Rhodes Scholar, had published 7 books, and had transformed Brookfield from a regional school into a nationally recognized research institution. She scanned the room, found me, and smiled warmly. "Emily. There you are." The silence was absolute. She crossed the room and pulled me into a brief hug. "I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. Now, where are the parents who don't believe their daughter is a professor?" My father had gone pale. My mother looked like she might faint. "Dr. Patterson," my father managed. We didn't expect." "I imagine not." Dr. Patterson's smile was pleasant, but her tone was ice. "I'm Catherine Patterson. I've had the pleasure of working with your daughter Emily for the past 6 years. She's one of our most valuable faculty members." Vanessa's voice came out strangled. "Faculty? But Emily's just..." "Just what?" Dr. Patterson turned her sharp gaze on my sister. "Just an associate professor with a PhD from MIT? Just the youngest faculty member ever to receive our Excellence in Research Award? Just the principal investigator on a $2.3 million NIH grant?" The room was so quiet I could hear my cousin's watch ticking. Derek pulled out his phone, his fingers moving quickly. His eyes widened. "Oh my God. Emily, there are articles about you. Multiple articles. Breakthrough in cellular regeneration research. You were on the cover of the university magazine. Last spring," Dr. Patterson confirmed. That was a wonderful profile. Although they didn't capture how brilliant her latest paper was. Emily, did you tell your family about the Nature publication? I tried, I said quietly. They weren't interested. My mother's voice was barely a whisper. Nature? The science journal Nature. First author, Dr. Patterson said proudly. The paper has already been cited 47 times and it's only been out for 3 months. Emily's work on protein synthesis is genuinely groundbreaking. Uncle Richard was Googling frantically. Her faculty page says she teaches graduate-level courses. Advanced molecular biology. Cellular mechanisms. She has 18 publications. 21 actually, I corrected. 3 more came out this semester. Aunt Susan stared at me. But you never told us. She tried, Dr. Patterson interjected. I'm getting that impression. But you all seem to have been very invested in a particular narrative about Emily's life. My father finally found his voice. We thought. She said she worked at the university. We assumed. You assumed wrong, Dr. Patterson said crisply. Emily is not only a professor, she's one of our stars. She's been recruited by Stanford, Johns Hopkins, and Duke in the past year alone. She stays at Brookfield because she loves teaching and she's built an incredible research program. Vanessa looked like she'd been slapped. But she sends mom and dad money every month. If she's so successful, why would she need to? The sentence died as realization hit. Dr. Patterson raised an eyebrow. Emily sends your parents money? How much? $1,500 a month, I said quietly. For 6 years. Plus extras for emergencies. That's over $108,000, Derek said, doing the math quickly. He looked at Vanessa with new eyes. Plus the money she gave you. You told me your parents were helping you. You said. Vanessa's face was blotchy red. I didn't know she was. I thought she was barely getting by. I thought. You thought I was a failure, I said flatly. You all did. It was easier than actually asking about my life. My mother sank into a chair. The investiture. When you got tenure. You invited us. You said you were busy, I replied. You had a spa weekend planned. The lecture series last year, my father said slowly. You asked us to come. You said you don't understand science and it would be boring. Dr. Patterson pulled out her phone. I think a visual aid might help. This is Emily's lab. She showed them photos. My state-of-the-art research facility, my graduate students, me giving a keynote address at a national conference. This is from last month. Emily was invited to present her research at the National Academy of Sciences. She was the youngest speaker there. She swiped to another photo. This is Emily with Dr. James Watson. Yes, that James Watson. He called her work the most exciting development in cellular biology in a decade. Cousin Jennifer was crying. Emily, I'm so sorry. We had no idea. You must think we're all terrible. I think you believed what was comfortable, I said. What made it easy to ask for money? What made it okay to treat me like I was less than Vanessa? Vanessa stood abruptly. That's not fair. I didn't. You laughed at me, I interrupted. Loudly. When I tried to correct Dad, you called me pathetic. You mocked me for supposedly making up a career. At your engagement celebration, which I was actually happy about until you decided to humiliate me. Derek was looking at Vanessa like he'd never seen her before. You told me your sister was jealous of you. You said she couldn't handle your success. I thought, Vanessa started. You didn't think, I said. You assumed. You all assumed. And you know what the worst part is? I tried to tell you. So many times. But every time I mentioned my research, you changed the subject. Every time I invited you to campus, you were busy. You didn't want to know the truth because the lie was more convenient. Dr. Patterson checked her watch. I should get back to my own Thanksgiving dinner. But before I go, I want to make something very clear. She addressed the room at large. Emily Harrison is an exceptional scientist and gifted teacher and a credit to our university. She's going places in her field that most researchers only dream about. The fact that her own family doesn't know this, doesn't celebrate this, doesn't even believe it? That's not a reflection on Emily. That's a reflection on all of you. She squeezed my shoulder. Emily, I'll see you Monday morning. We need to discuss the new grant proposal. And I meant what I said about nominating you for the Presidential Early Career Award. Thank you, Dr. Patterson, I managed. Thank you for letting me witness this. It's been educational. She swept out, leaving shocked silence in her wake. My father spoke first, his voice hoarse. Emily, we need to talk about this. We didn't know. You didn't want to know, I corrected. There's a difference. My mother's makeup was running. All that money you sent us. We thought you were sacrificing, barely scraping by. I make $94,000 a year as base salary, I said quietly. Plus research funding, speaking fees and consulting work. The money I sent you was less than 15% of my income. I wasn't sacrificing. I was helping family who couldn't be bothered to ask about my life. Uncle Richard cleared his throat. For what it's worth, Emily, we're proud of you. We should have said that years ago. You should have asked, I replied. That's all I wanted. For someone to care enough to ask. I grabbed my coat and purse. Vanessa blocked my path, tears streaming down her face. Please. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. You didn't want to know, I said, echoing my earlier words. Because if I was successful, you couldn't be the golden child anymore. You couldn't be the special one. I stepped around her and headed for the door. My father called after me. Emily, wait. Where are you going? Back to my life, I said. The real one. Not the fantasy version you created to make yourselves feel better. Will you come to the wedding? Vanessa's voice was small. I paused at the door. I don't know yet. I'll think about it. But right now I need some space from people who think so little of me. I walked out into the cool November evening, got in my car and drove away. My phone buzzed with texts. Apologies, excuses, explanations. I silenced it. Tomorrow I'd go back to my lab. My students were waiting. My research was waiting. My real life, the one I'd built despite my family's complete disinterest, was waiting. And for the first time in 6 years I wasn't going to apologize for it.